Let me hit you with a hard truth. The longer you wait to review candidates, the less likely you are to make a hire. In hiring, just like in sales, time kills deals. I'm Jody Underhill with Talent on Tap, and after helping over 300 companies make 5,000 plus revenue generating hires, there's one pattern we've seen again and again. The biggest hiring bottleneck? Communication, or more accurately, the lack of it. So we've seen great candidates ghost, disengage, and flat out disappear, not because they weren't qualified, but because the businesses didn't move fast enough to keep them interested. Let's talk about some real world stories so you can see what I mean. Story number one, Colorado HVAC company, the turnaround table. For 5 whole months, this heating and cooling company in Colorado had 0 hires. Why? They wouldn't review candidates consistently and refused to let us schedule interviews. Then they flipped the switch, they got consistent in the software and gave us control of their calendar. Result, 33 interviews in 4 months and every single role filled. That is the power of speed and trust in the system. The second story is an East Coast garage door company. This is the tale of 2 managers. This one's wild. 2 hiring managers, same company. One reviews daily, hires consistently. The other delays reviews and watches candidates vanish. Same system, same resources, totally different outcomes. Communication is the variable that makes or breaks the success with our system with Talent on Tap. The next one is a California HVAC company. We call this one the comeback kid. The client came in October of 2023. The first 6 months, they had just 3 hires. Why? Sporadic software usage, no urgency, not looking at the candidates that we put in front of them. But once he committed to working the system daily, boom, 16 hires in under a year. Consistency isn't just a good idea, it's your competitive advantage. Number 4 is a Georgia HVAC company. This one is accountability equals results. The hiring managers here weren't following up, candidates were dropping off, and we talked to the owner, we got buy-in, added some accountability, and now over 50 hires in less than a year. There's still room for improvement, but the communication has moved the needle for this company and increased their revenue dramatically. The next one is a West Coast garage door company. In this case, silence was costly. We were live for 4.5 weeks before we got a single reply from the client, not from the leads, from the client. Meanwhile, the top talent was slipping away. The new manager came in, started working the board, and boom. The first hire happened in 2 weeks, and they've had 5 hires now in just a few months. It makes a difference. Then we have a Midwest drain company. This one was an owner bottleneck. One of our team members couldn't get a reply for 3 weeks after reaching out time after time. We called the owner and said, look, let's fix this. He added a recruiter from HR to the account, and they had 2 hires in the first week. And when that recruiter stays engaged, we see 7 to 10 interviews scheduled every week. But when communication drops, so does the results. And then lastly, a Northeast HVAC commercial company. They're the toughest account we've had. And yet they have one of the best outcomes because even though this is one of the toughest we've had, one of the owners stays in close contact. He's engaged and he's solution oriented. And we've created a custom review process and even sent forms for deeper insight. The result, 2 hires that would have never happened without the collaboration. Here's the bottom line. Hiring, it's a race. Speed wins, silence kills. Every day you wait to respond is a day your ideal candidate takes another offer. So if you want results like these companies I just talked about, it's really simple. Use the software, let us help, stay engaged. Sounds kind of forceful, but at this point, it's what's really important. Because the only thing standing between you and your next great hire might just be your inbox. Talent on Tap isn't just a platform. We're your recruiting team on steroids, but we can't run the race without you. Time kills deals, speed hires revenue. Log in, review candidates, book interviews. We're Talent on Tap.